Hey everybody, and welcome to our Introduction to Crayta stream. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm going to be running you through essentially all the basics that you need to know to get started in Crayta, playing games, creating games, sharing games with your friends, and joining groups and so on. And for those of you that have seen Crayta before or been with us on the live streams before, hopefully there'll be something new here for you as well. I'll just quickly run you through who we've got here today. So I'm Adam. I haven't presented a stream before, so this is my first time today. We've also got a couple of builders here. I think Russ, Sean, and Maggie. If you all want to say hello, guys. Oh, actually, you guys might not be on yet. Let me just switch. Okay, if you guys say hello again.
Hi again.
Hi.
Cool.
Hi again.
Cool. So you can hear everyone who's with me. They should be our builders for today, and they're going to play some games and then help us build a game together. So just to explain the premise of Crayta at the moment, you can see that I'm in our hub, and there's a whole load of other people in here with me, a few people doing emotes and things. So when you first land in Crayta, every time you launch it up, you'll arrive into this hub space, which is where you can meet other people. You can show off all your emotes and your sprays and things like this, which you can see people have plastered all around the hub. And then once you walk over to this space, we've got a number of games. So these are essentially the featured games at the moment, which you can just walk up to one of these sort of portal wall things and interact with it, and you'll go straight into that game. But there's also a main menu through which you can find all the other games as well. So you can access the main menu if you've already picked up the game by pressing escape or with the menu button on the Stadia controller. So first of all, you land on the home page of the menu. So from here you can see some basic information. You can see your character, you can see our current news, you can see a little snippet of your friends. Over on the left hand side we've got your levels, and if you've reached a new level you've actually got some rewards to claim, which will be cosmetic rewards, things like new emotes, new sprays and new outfits. And then down here you can jump straight into a game, or if you're already in a game, this will take you back to the hub space. We'll come to these in a second, but we've got the Play tab, which is where you can find all the games to play, and then the Create tab, which is where you can create new games. For any new user, you'll be brought straight to the Customize tab. So on here, you can completely change how your character looks. So I've unlocked a number of outfits. One I quite like is this hot sauce one. I can just spin my character around, check out his outfit. And then if I go to the character tab here, you'll see I can change all sorts of things about them. Such as their body type. Probably take off the facial hair there actually. Various aspects, so the skin color, the head type. It's kind of hard to see under the hat, there we go. Eye color and so on. And then some of the styling as well, so actually maybe I'll give an outfit without a hat so we can see the hairstyles a little bit better. Let's go back to the one I had. So then in styling you can see the different hair types. Let's go with twist, that's quite a nice one. Got a variety of hair colours as well. And you can see various other options. That allows you to customize your character and means everyone in Crayta can look completely unique. And as you play and progress in Crayta, you will earn experience, and you can earn more experience by playing in a group or by creating or several other things like that. And as I mentioned before, once you level up, you'll get to earn some rewards. So if I just click through here, I can check out the rewards I'm getting. There we go, so I've just got a new spray. So that's one of the things that I can sort of spray into the hub or into any game that I go into. Cool. Now the next page we might want to go to is the social page. So this is where I can see my current friends, and I'm going to want to add the other guys who are with me into my group. So let's find Sean, add him to the group, and Russ. We'll invite Russ as well. I think Maggie might turn up here in a second. I've sent her a friend request, but I don't think she's accepted yet. Cool. So I think first of all, we should probably start by playing a game. And I'll do this by going straight in through the hub. So you can see in the bottom right corner there, I've had a few people join my group. So in the hub, if I run up to one of these game screens and interact with it, then we'll go straight into the game.
Yeah, cool. Do you mind sending that link again, Adam, to join the group?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Once I've loaded into the Outlaw game.
Yeah. So yeah, if you do which one Outlaw, that'd be good.
Cool. Just give it a second to join. I think because we were in a group, it might have been starting a new instance up for us. And let me just go to the social page again and make sure I've got you added. Invite to group. And Russ, invite to group. Okay, have you guys got those invites?
Yeah, let's try and join that.
We're coming on.
So it looks like this round of Outlaw might have already been in progress. So I can just flick through the CCTV cameras that they've set up here. So to explain the premise of the games in Crayta, Crayta is a collaborative and accessible game creation platform, which essentially means that it's a platform for anyone to come along and create their own games. And you can create all sorts of different genres of games. And you can create things like a capture the flag, you can create a race, you can create a cooking game if you wanted, and we've got several examples of those already. Some of them were made by us at Unit 2 Games, and some were made by some indie developers that we brought on as part of an indie fund that we did earlier in the year. This particular game is called Outlaw, and it's a sort of murder mystery game. So you have one outlaw that can go around with I think it's a cleaver or a spade or some weapon, and they have to try and kill all the civilians, but one of the civilians is a sheriff who has a pistol or something, and they have to try and spot who the outlaw is and kill them. But the trick is that everyone can hide their weapons, so it's quite hard to tell, and you have to sort of watch the behavior of other players.
Okay, we've just landed in with you.
Cool. So it looks like we're just waiting to see the sheriff kill the outlaw, hopefully, in this game. So watching this CCTV view, someone's sort of shuffling around behind the back of the house. There we go. Bad guys won, so I guess the outlaw managed to kill the last civilian, or the sheriff. And now we should be dropped into the game as well. Cool. So are you guys in this game? I see Maggie's here.
So.
Can do a little... What's this? Do a siren at Maggie. So you'll see there
we've got a couple of other guys from the studio as well. Seems like we've got some other devs in.
Oh, cool. So I can actually see who's in my current game, can't I, from the main menu. I can go to the social tab. And I think recent will show me the people in my current game. So it looks like, yeah, there we go. We've got JJ, who's one of our programmers. He's currently in the game with us as well. Oh, and Maggie isn't in our group yet. So I've just added Maggie to our group. Cool, so hopefully whoever the outlaw is here isn't watching the stream, because I'm a civilian and I'd rather not get killed by them. Now I think as a civilian in this game I can run around and try and find my own weapon. And if I do that then I become a vigilante, which means that I'm able to then... Oh, the sheriff I think. I'm able to then defend myself against the outlaw if I think I know who it is. Oh, I guess guess the sheriff got them. That was very quick. Cool. Yeah, so I was just going to explain that I can do various social actions and I can equip and customize different ones from the customization menu. So for example, I've got a nice facepalm emote that I can do. Russ is here, so I'm going to send him a little siren emoticon thing out of my drone. And we'll talk more about the drones later and how they connect to the characters in Crayta. I think this game also has a few physics objects. I noticed a few of the tables and chairs sometimes can be kicked around, though I'm not sure which ones.
I think down in the bar area, there's a few.
Cool, I'll have a look. Oh, there's a lot of people, so I'm a bit worried. And you're not going for that pickaxe. Does that mean you're... Does that mean you're an outlaw if you didn't want to go for the
No,
weapon?
yeah,
Oh,
look,
okay.
look at me. Look,
Yeah. You're safe.
I'm gonna holster it, but yeah, that's I'm good.
Cool. You're safe from the hoe. Okay, so I know that you're safe and you know I'm safe because you're watching the stream, obviously. So I guess we should try and stick together. Where have you gone?
I'm being chased by whoever that is. Oh my god, they're gonna get me.
Oh, I think I just picked up the sheriff's gun. Did you die, Russ, or have we got more than one sheriff?
I did.
I'm a sheriff.
Oh dear.
Wait, I'm not the sheriff.
I was following someone, and then all of a sudden I just got taken out.
Okay. Oh, Sean is a sheriff. He's got a gun. Okay, Sean, we're good. Let's band together. Should we go to the front? I mean, we could just start shooting people. Oh.
Well,
Okay.
we won anyway.
I guess the vigilante must have got the outlaw that time. Cool. I think one more round, and then we'll try and show a bit of game creation as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of hoping I'm the outlaw in this round. But if I am, you're just going to know who I am straight away. Because you'll see it on the stream, so...
You'll have to just say it quietly.
I'm the outlaw. Wonder if any of these people in the game have realised that they're playing on the stream now.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting.
Guys, you're famous. You're on TV. Whoa. I think that was JJ there. Is this JJ the sheriff?
JJ here. Oh, big JJ.
JJ?
Yeah. Yeah, JJ's in.
Hey JJ.
Is he the sheriff?
Yeah, he is. He's a sheriff. I think maybe we got... Oh, okay, you killed him. Right, you're clearly the outlaw.
So, sheriff down. Now it's a mad scramble for you guys to find weapons. Uh-oh.
I haven't found a single weapon or money bag yet. It's got to be some that someone hasn't picked up.
Oh, I'm the sheriff. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Russ, where did you go?
I'm upstairs in the saloon.
You just... You're not, are you? Or are you actually?
No, I'm actually in the mine shaft at the back.
I guess I should just look for you. Right, there you are. Damn. Oh, I can't hit you. There we go.
Oh,
Gonna do a little siren emote.
Nice.
Hang on. Oh wait, is that another outlaw? Someone else
Ooh,
chasing
is
me
there
with a
enough
spade.
place? Well, maybe there's enough players for more than one.
There we
outlaw.
go. We got him. Yes! Okay, right. Nice. Okay, so I think we should go to game creation now.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So just to quickly cover it, the play page. So I obviously played Outlaw by going through the hub screens, but I can also go to the play page and I can find all sorts of games here. And these games are organized into rails, so kind of like your YouTube or your Netflix approach, you can see categories of different games. So we've got the active ones, so these games are anything that players are currently in. Recently played, quite an interesting one is recently updated, so you can see what people are just working on and have just published. And you can also obviously search the games up here and expand them to see more details like the description. But when you want to create your own game, which everyone can do in Crayta, and you can create as many games as you want, you can go to the create page. And from here, you'll see it's also organized into rails as well for categories. And on our top rail is where we create new games from. So we can start from an empty game, and the empty game is essentially what it says on the box. There's nothing in it except a sort of flat terrain, and it allows you to just go wild and create whatever you want, just from a blank slate really. And then all these others are what we call our starter games. The starter games provide you some pre-built game logic, which allows you to build an environment around an existing game or see how an existing game works and then try and tweak it by changing the properties and so on. And actually a couple of these also come with example games as well. So I think Time Trial, not Time Trial, which one is it? CTF comes with an example game. So you can see the starter, capture the flag game, will look something like the image there. So it just comes with 2 basic flags, 2 spawn points, and the players spawn with guns, and it has the capture the flag logic. But then Vault Heist is actually, oh, I don't want a new one, sorry. Vault Heist is actually the example of that. So Vault Heist is a sort of full game which is built from the Team Capture the Flag starter map, but shows you how you can expand that starter game into a full game with a nice environment and with health pickups and things like that. And you can make as many copies of these as you want, dig into how the code works, dig into any aspect of it, or just sort of remix it and make it your own and publish it as a new creation as well. For today's stream, I think we're going to go for an obstacle course. Here we go. And then when I'm creating my game, I can give it a name. I'm going to call this one Don't Look Down, and that will become a bit more clear later. We can choose one of these sort of default images for our game at the start, but later on, when we come to actually publish our game to the play page, we can upload our own game image then through the developer website as well. There's the details for my game, and then I'll create it. And then it's going to take me straight into the editor for the game. And because I'm part of a group, it's brought my friends with me as well.
Hey.
Hi guys. So I'm not going to do the share code thing here because obviously the game is now live and we probably don't want anyone being able to join our editor because that would just cause chaos, I'd imagine. So I'm just going to talk through the editor. Sean, would you be able to get a share code for Maggie to join us? I don't think she was part of our group.
I haven't got permissions, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Russ should be able to. Okay,
Try.
maybe if I share the game with you guys
Yeah,
properly,
I
then
think-
you can create them.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
So if I go to my create page and find the game and go to the sharing tab, then I can say change sharing permissions and I can give any of my Stadia friends permanent access to my game, which I can later revoke if I want to. So let's select Russ and Sean and say continue. Cool, and now that means that this game will be able to be accessed by Russ and Sean whenever they want to. The alternative, if I did want people to come to my game, is I could click this create a share link button, and that button also exists on the home page, whether you're in a play session or whether you're in the game editor. And it will just tell you that it's going to share your game. If you click it, it will give you a warning if you're in an editor saying that other people will be able to join your instance. And I'm not going to reveal it for now because we don't want other people joining this editor at the moment.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Not yet.
Cool. So now that we're in the editor, here's Maggie just joined. Guess Sean's just let her in. So now that we're in the editor, you can see this is sort of the starter game that we get with the obstacle course, and we're all running around here as the same characters that we've already designed and we've already been able to play other games with. So these characters carry all the way through all the different games in Crayta, but they even come into the editor with you, and you can use your characters to do some basic game creation. But before we start, I think I'm going to just preview this game so we can see what it is that we get with the starter game of the obstacle course. And for that, I can press F5. And then you'll see we all spawn in at the start of the obstacle course. We've got a few checkpoints that we can run through and then a few obstacles as well to avoid. I think Maggie managed to just hit one. So did I. Great.
I win. You guys suck.
Alright, I'll try and make it to the end. Shouldn't be too hard. There we go. And then you can see we've also got some UI provided with this game. So I've got a health bar in the bottom left corner, and then in the top right corner I've got the notifications which are telling me that I've reached checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4 and the final checkpoint. And then at any point I can press F5 to go back to the editor. So as we're running around in this editor, we're possessing our characters, and the controls should be quite familiar to anyone who's played other creation games, so things like Minecraft or something. You can run around as your character as normal. You can jump and crouch and so on. And then you can start building in this mode. So to start building, you can open up the library with the Y button. So I've switched to a controller now, but you can do this on keyboard with the L key. And when you open up the library, first tab you see is all the voxels you can build with. So for example, I can select jungle grass to equip to my hotbar and maybe the temple brick. Press B to close that. Oh, someone's extruded the edge of the world. That just fell off.
I was just trying to
Nice.
set this up. Didn't mean to trap you like that.
So then I can start placing these voxels as well, using my character and using the trigger button, and I've got undo and redo commands as well on the D-pad, which would be Control Z and Control Y. I suddenly forgot then, had a blank. Got what undo and redo is on a keyboard. Cool. So those are some of the voxel tools, and then you'll see I can go through the different tabs of my hotbar. So I've got the jungle grass equipped, and I can place that. And our jungle grass is one of our nice voxel types that actually gives you some sort of scatter assets, is what we call them, on top, or icing. So it gives you like these extra plant meshes on top of the grass when you place it down without you having to do any extra work, which is really helpful. And you can always press B just to sort of deselect what you've got equipped, and just have a walk around as your character. Cool. We can go through different voxel tools as well. So at the moment I'm placing these sort of 50 centimeter cubes, but you'll see I've got a prompt in the bottom left to say if I press up on the D-pad, then I'll cycle through different tools. So first of all, we've got a few different sizes of voxels, so I can start placing some bigger chunks. Then we've also got a fill tool. Actually, this is quite a nice one to use on the rest of the course. I'm going to use the jungle brick. You can see straight away we've just filled in the jungle brick there. Let me just cycle back through the tools to the right one. Then we've got an extrude tool, which is really handy for making things like walls or just extending platforms out. So you can see it's highlighting these faces in blue. And if I start dragging, then I can actually like extend these faces out or extrude them, which is really useful. And finally, we've got grow and erode, which I think is probably my favorite of the voxel tools. So this allows for a more sort of natural terrain sculpting, and if you hold down the right trigger or the left mouse button with this tool equipped, then you can grow really nice natural looking terrain with any of the voxel types you've got equipped. And the opposite of that, if you hold the left trigger or the right mouse button, is you can actually erode it away again, which is nice for making damaged sculptures or caves or things like that. Now we've got a few other things in our library as well. So if we tab across here, we've got some of our meshes, and we can filter it with tags up here. So we can go for, I think there's a jungle expedition tag, which might be quite suitable at the start. I think this jungle tree is really nice. I'm going to equip that to my hotbar, and I'll place, watch out Sean, place a couple down at the start here. Cool. And then at any point, any of the entities I've placed, I can actually pick them up and move them around as well, which is quite handy. So you might have noticed that we're all in here together, and this is sort of part of our mission, is that Crayta is a completely collaborative editing experience. So as I'm running around placing voxels and placing meshes and so on, we can see Sean here is actually adding some jungle grass at the same time. You'll see Russ has been extruding away the rest of the terrain around here so that we've got this sort of straight path that I managed to fall off the edge of earlier. And I think Maggie's in here adding some extra blocks to the end, or that could be Russ.
Yeah, that's me. So yeah, you got Maggie and Sean. There's like various sections now called things in the world tree. So if you want to just grab one of those and start building on it.
Cool. Another nice thing I can show you. Hopefully at some point someone will go and grab that little obstacle over there, or I could actually drag that around and put it somewhere more useful. So this was our spinning obstacle that we saw at the end of our race earlier. So I've just dragged that over here in basic mode, but another useful thing we can do actually is interact with entities by pressing X or E on the keyboard. And you'll see at this point my character sort of taps on her little wrist computer thing and she equips her drone. And the drone is what I mentioned before, so you can change to various different drone options, and the drone is sort of your representation of your editor experience in a way. And your drone sort of follows your character around everywhere they go, and they also do some of the emoticons and the drone music with you as well. So you'll see now I can pan around this object that I've interacted with, and I've got this property view of it here. From here I can change various things, so I can lift up its position a little bit. Maggie's standing on it though. Sorry, Maggie. Quite a nice thing I can do as well is actually simulate it. So for objects that have logic on, like this one has the rotate and move script attached to it. For some of the more simple logic like that, I can click simulate, and then we'll actually see the logic take effect. Sean, you might want to step off that or stay on. It's up to you.
I'm writing it.
Cool. So we're now simulating this, and we're actually seeing the logic take effect while we're still in the editor, which is really useful, particularly for obstacle course type games. And if we scroll down, we can see some of the scripts people have added to it. So we've got a death collision script, which basically detects when it collides with a player and will kill that player. And then we've got this rotate and move script that we've added. So I can adjust the properties here as well. So someone else may have written the script for us, but then they've exposed these properties like time and pause and rotation and so on. And we can adjust these properties without having to touch the code, just to change the behavior of this script. So for example, if I reduce the time a little bit, and you see when it starts its next cycle, it's probably going a bit quick. So let's increase that to 3 seconds. And you'll see I've slowed it back down now. So it's really quick and easy to make those sort of adjustments through the basic mode property editor. I'm going to stop that simulating as well. Now I mentioned the drone there when we interacted with it, but we can also equip our drone by double tapping the A button or the spacebar. And now we're sort of controlling our drone in basic mode, and you'll see other people are doing the same thing, moving their drones around here. Now this is still basic mode, so you can still do the same functionality, but it just gives you a little bit more movement. You can move up with the A button or the spacebar, and down with crouch, which is the right stick or the C button. And I find this mode is quite handy for particularly extruding things. So for example, if we get our extrude tool, we can now get rid of that bit, so we've got a nice bit of path here. Get rid of that bit as well. Cool. So that should give everyone hopefully a rough understanding of basic mode, but if you do have any questions about that mode, feel free to ask them in the chat. I think we've got mods on hand to help answer any of those. And now if you want to get a bit more advanced with your game creation, we've got an advanced mode, and this is generally just accessible for mouse and keyboard users because it starts to get into some more tricky concepts and things like coding and stuff which aren't so possible on a controller. So if I switch over to the keyboard now, we can switch to our advanced mode by pressing the tab key. And you see once I do that, we get all of this extra interface appear around us. So we've got the library here still, which is similar to what we saw in basic mode. And we can change through the different library tabs again from here. We've got our voxel tools at the top now, and we've got a few extra options. So things like the shape tool is quite a nice one. And then over on the right hand side, we've got our entities tab with the world tree. So the world tree is essentially a hierarchy, which is hopefully familiar to anyone that's used something like Unity or Unreal before, and you can arrange entities in here, you can make groups, you can copy and paste things from here. It's all quite useful, and you can also select them and see their properties here, and you can actually focus on entities with the F key as well, which lets you just find them up close. Cool. So the next thing I need to do is I need to actually start working on this game that we're creating. So it looks like Russ has already extruded the terrain away for us. So we've essentially turned this obstacle course now into a straight course made up of various different sections. And I think each of the guys that are with me are going to start building out these different sections. So you're going to have to run from the spawn back at those trees. I think this is the last checkpoint up here. Is that right? So like that.
Yeah, the last one should be like checkpoint 6, I think it's called.
Yep, it looks like checkpoint 6 in the city section up there.
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. So let me just fly back here. Now, when you're in advanced mode, you can fly your drone around with quite similar controls, although there's a couple of differences. So for example, the E and the Q keys will now take you up and down by default, although you can change those bindings if you want to in the settings menu. And that's because we no longer need E for interacting with entities, as we can just select them in the world tree and change their properties from there. Excuse me. And to look around, you can hold the right mouse button, which will sort of lock the cursor to the middle, and then that allows you to look around that way. Cool, so at the moment I think I've got the least dangerous looking section of this obstacle course, so what I need to do is add a bit more danger, probably to this area here. So I think, as this is a sort of jungly temple bit, a swinging blade is probably quite a good one. And I know that we happen to have one of those meshes here. Let me just lift that up, and you'll see in advanced mode we've also got this sort of slightly more advanced gizmo for moving and rotating objects as well, which just makes things a little bit quicker for those keyboard and mouse users. Now I'm going to position this swinging blade right above the path there, but at the moment this isn't going to do a lot because it's got no scripts on it. It's just a mesh, so it'll just provide an obstacle for us that we can't get past. Now what I can do is actually use some of the logic that's already included in this starter game. So that rotate and move script and that death collision script that we saw on one of the red obstacles before, we can actually add to this as well. So I'm going to add the death collision script right from here, from the entity add script menu. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is actually going to the scripts tab of the library. Put that into list view so I can see them a little bit better. I can just drag on a script as well. Drag on the rotate and move script. Now what we want to do is just have this axe swing. So I'm going to give it a minus 30-degree rotation. And down here I'll tell it to end at 60 degrees from where it is. And you'll see straight away if we simulate that, it's quite slow at the moment, but it will swing 60 degrees through. So it goes from minus 30 round to 30 degrees. We can speed that up by changing the time. I'll change that to 1 second. And it was also swinging and then going back to the start and starting again. So the rotate and move script provides us with this bounce option, which means it will swing one way and then go back the other in reverse. If we try that now. Okay, that's looking a bit better. One of the really useful things that I can do in advanced mode is actually template any of the creations I've made. So that essentially means that I create a sort of master copy that I can then stamp around the world as much as I want, and I only have to update the master copy to update all the instances of it. So for this swinging blade, I'm going to want maybe one or two more of those. So I can say template, create a new template, and I'll call it swinging blade. Okay. And then I can just Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste that. And I'll put it further down on our course as well. Actually, if I spin this by 180 degrees, it might look a bit more interesting. For anyone using Crayta at the moment, you can quickly switch between the move and rotate gizmos with the F1 and F2 hotkeys, or through the buttons at the top here. So you'll see if I simulate this one as well, it's doing the same thing. Now, I've realized that these don't quite swing as far as I'd want them to, because it might still be quite tricky for a player to get through there. In fact, I can switch back to basic mode. Where am I? And I can just see that's going to be quite tricky to get past. I could just about do it, but it's going to be tough. So back in advanced mode, what I can do is I can select that swinging blade, stop it from simulating, and then if I click this button here, I can edit the template itself, which takes me to this dedicated view, which is essentially the master of the template. So now I can update the template from here, and all the instances will update. So I'm going to give it much more of a rotation, so 90 degrees, and it's going to start. I'll have to set the instances to minus 45 degrees when they start. I might even speed this up a little bit so it's really quite quick. Oh, I can't do it because it's a time property, so I can only set seconds, minutes, and hours. But I'll set it to 1 second as it was before. And you'll see now if I simulate any instance in the world, it'll actually swing through 90 degrees rather than 60. I'm just going to set these up so that they're both ready to swing through that amount. Cool. How are you guys feeling? Are you good for maybe a midway preview?
Good for a midway preview? Yeah, so.
Cool. So whereas when we were in basic mode, we could press F5 key, or I think it was hold down on the D-pad to preview from here, we can just press the preview button or again F5. And that will immediately take us all into playing the game so that we can test out our changes. Cool. So you'll see I've got these swinging axes working now, and hopefully if Russ walks into one, it'll kill him. And it has. Nice. And then we've still got a few other ones left over there.
OP.
Yeah.
God.
Nah, it's easy, Sean.
Yeah. You knew I was going to jump into it. 'Cause I just can't get past.
Okay, so I failed to make the jump there, and I've fallen to my death. So let's press F5 now, and that'll take us back into the editor for our game. Cool, you guys are free to carry on making your sections as well now.
Thank you very much.
So we've made...
Nowhere near challenge.
Sorry?
As I say, mine's nowhere near a challenge compared to that.
Okay, maybe I'll make mine a bit easier actually. I might slow down the swinging a little bit for you. Let's make it 2 seconds. Cool. So we've made our own template there, and that's okay. You know, it's fairly simple. It's just a mesh with 2 scripts on it. But other people might have made scripts or templates or UI that they want to share with the rest of the community. And that's where our community tab comes into play. And you can access this through basic or advanced modes. And I happen to know that there's quite a good city buildings package in here, I think it's called. So you'll see it's got a little Crayta logo next to it to say this is actually one of our packages that we provide. And I can install that package. And this package is essentially a whole set of different buildings, so they were just loading in there. But you'll see if we go back to our library now, go to our templates folder, we've actually got a whole load of buildings that have just been added. So we've got all these extra buildings here. I can just drop those into the world. So these are quite nice, and obviously I didn't create these. I think another member of our team did. I think our art outsource manager has actually made some of these. But we can use them because he's decided to package them for other users to drop into their games. So I think if the other guys can start using some more of these, want me to just drag this one down into the city area. There we go.
Yeah, you should see a couple already appearing over here.
Yep, there's a few there. So I guess we'll get to see that towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
Cool. Sean or someone, would you mind moving some of these start things? Maybe putting them into your obstacle area. Some of these red obstacles at the start.
Oh, yep, sure.
Cool. So yeah, using some of the city buildings, that's quite a handy way, or any package assets, it's quite a handy way of quickly adding things to your game that maybe you couldn't create by yourself or you didn't have time to create. And you can also, you know, create your own assets and then share those with the community, or just share them with yourself if you want to. So if I wanted to use these swinging blades somewhere in another one of my games, I could create a package from the packages tab of the library, and I could simply drop in the swinging blade, confirm that, give it a name and description, then I could publish that and import it into any of my other games. I'm going to not do that for now because it's not the best template in the world. Cool. The next thing to show you, we've actually got quite a nice little obstacle course coming together here, but the world still looks kind of bland. We've just got the default sky. It just sort of drops off into the whiteness, and there's nothing special or particularly eye-catching about it just yet. So what we can do is go to our world tab here, which gives us some of our world settings, which allow us to really quickly change the whole look and feel of the game. So I'll run through some of these. We've got start time, and we can actually slide that, and it sort of gives us a different time of day, and you'll see the sun move in the sky. Keep it as 2 o'clock for now. If we change the day length, so we can have dynamic day-night cycles. And in the editor, we can actually see the sun going around. If I just hide my UI. So we've got a 10-second day-night cycle, which I probably would never recommend for any game, because it's just so confusing, but it is a nice way of just previewing that option. We can change the sun direction, where the sun's coming from in the sky, if we want to change where the shadows are. Going to come from over there now. And then we've got a few presets for the sky and the horizons. So I think our rainy sky is quite nice. Gives us these nice dynamic clouds that the sun shines through. We've got a few different horizons we can use for the inner and outer layers. I think mountains and jungle is quite a nice one. But I'm just going to reset those to the default for now by double clicking them, as we're going to add fog rather than horizons to this particular game. So I can override the fog here. So the start distance is just where the fog will start from. The fall off sort of changes where the fog stops in terms of its verticalness. So essentially, if the fall off is really low, then the fog will just carry on all the way up into the sky, whereas if you make it high, you're not going to see it go up into the sky so much. So if I make it really low, it just goes all the way up. For this one, because we've called the game Don't Look Down and it's all about not falling off the obstacle course, I'm going to sort of set that so the fog is kind of low on the world and then increase its intensity a fair bit. I'll actually bring in the start distance about as low as it will go. Maybe just decrease that just a touch. And we can change the fog color as well. We'll make it slightly more ominous light red color. Other things here, so the skylight is like the ambient lighting that we can change. Just gonna come back to those in a second. And then we can override the colors of the sky as well. So we can adjust some of these colors to make the sky just a little bit more red. It's quite moody, quite a nice sort of ominous look to the world. Now these ones, the color grading and the post-process, are really nice sort of quick massive changes to the look and feel of your game. So if you want to have a really eye-catching different sort of game, you can choose a couple of presets from here, and we'll be expanding these lists as Crayta goes on. So for the color grading, it sort of changes the way it renders the colors of your game. So we can go for Alien Planet, which has these crazy sort of pinks and blues all drawn out. Or we can go for Noir, which makes it quite black and white. Or Super Color, which pretty much does what it says on the box, makes all the colors super sort of punchy. Just reset these for now, because I think we'll stick with the current look that we've got. And then the post-process as well, so we can change through various effects, and these completely change how the view is actually rendered. So cel-shaded is quite a nice one. It gives us this sort of comic book cartoony effect by outlining all the objects, which is really good for a few games. Or we've got things like thermal. So are any of you guys nearby? So thermal highlights all the players in orange, so it's quite good. You can actually set this if you had a game of maybe a hunter versus lots of other players. You could give the hunter only the thermal post-process effect, and then they'll sort of see all the players highlighted in orange in this view. Or things like tilt shift, gives a sort of blur top and bottom for a toy town sort of effect. Or we've got things like neon, which gives quite a wacky different effect. And I haven't seen a game use this yet in earnest, but I really think this could make a really cool looking game at some point. But we'll just go with these sort of defaults for now. Cool. Probably a couple of other things we might want to add. I'll just show you some lighting and effects that we can do in our world. So I'm going to go for our classic brazier near the start of the race, which is quite a nice mesh for adding fire and light effects too. And then underneath that we can use the context menu to give it a light child. And you'll see I've got these sort of 3D editor icons, so I can see where all my entities are. But you can turn those off in the editor if they sort of get in the way of your view. So from the lights properties I can adjust how it looks, so I can change the intensity, make it super bright. Quite like that actually, might go with that. Change the light's color. We can go for probably a more orange sort of color. The exponent is the sort of fall off of the light, so if I reduce that, then the light is brighter for more distance, if that makes sense. And then the attenuation is the distance that the light goes out, so if I reduce that to 200, then you see it only covers a really small radius. So I think we'll probably go for 500 on that one. And finally, shadows is a good option. So the light will then cast shadows. It's probably worth just a little warning. Don't have too many lights casting shadows, because that's a really good way to like quickly ruin your game's performance. But quite a few, just a few of them, sorry, is a really nice way to sort of enhance the authenticity of your game. If I add shadows to this light, See, that looks really nice there. Just going to move it down a little bit. And we can also add effects. So we've got a whole library of effects as well, which has a lot of fire things in there. So I think we've got it's like a medium fire somewhere, I'm sure, or is it fire large?
I think it's just fire large or fire extra large. They only deal in big,
Large or
they only
extra
deal in big
large?
fires.
Nice. Okay, so I've gone with fire large there. So when we've got that selected, we can actually see that previewing in editor as well. And that's quite nice. And I could just make the brazier a template and stamp those around as well. But I might leave Russ or someone else to do that if they want to do that.
Yeah. Did you make that a template, you say, or do you want me to?
You can do if you want. I was just going to
Yeah.
leave the one there, but it's quite a good candidate for turning into a template. Probably one of the last things we want to add to our game is a little bit of music as well. So let's go to our sounds library. Go to the list view. So if you're finding the icon view, it's quite hard to read the names or something, you can just use this button to switch to the list view, see the full names. We can preview a few sounds from here. But I find that the tags, is a really good way to search for what you're looking for when you want to find a good sound effect or a music track. So let's search specifically for music, and I think action music will be quite suitable for this. Then we've got Magic Castle Action Tension, sounds quite good. So if I just drop that anywhere in the world, doesn't really matter at the moment. Call that music. You'll see it's miles away from us at the moment. Let me just unparent that so it goes to the top of the world tree. Then I'll bring it back over to where I am. There we go. So if we go into this sort of sphere of music, then we can hear it playing. And these two spheres are essentially, the middle one shows you where the music is still full volume, and then the outer one is where it will drop off to. So outside of the outer one you won't hear it at all. And then it will be full volume when you're inside the inner one. But for music, we probably just want it to be global, so all the players hear the music all together. So what we can do is we can turn off 3D, which means it won't sort of be coming through one headphone or the other if you turn your character around. And if we turn off ranges, then that can just be heard across the whole world now. Cool. Final thing we might want to do is, I think it might be a good time to preview the game actually and just see where we're at. Is everyone ready for a preview?
Can
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I need to add the button to the end, but we could do that after a quick preview.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. So we'll see what the problem is, and then we'll add a teleport for it. If I press the play button here, then we'll all go into play together. Cool, let's go. So, we haven't been going for too long.
Nice one, Russ.
Instantly killed by the first trap.
Nice. Probably been working on this for about 30 minutes now, but I think we've got quite a nice game together.
I think the first step's slightly too far away.
Oh, that is a big jump. Can I make that with a sprint?
Oh, just about.
Well, I can't. You're a bit better at this than me, Sean. Okay, so our game's looking quite cool, but it's got a couple of issues. There we go. Made it. I see you templated. No, because I'll die. Was there a checkpoint? No, there wasn't a checkpoint on here. I don't want to do that jump again.
Wait,
I
there
didn't
was
make
not?
it.
Oh no, there wasn't.
I'll pass this checkpoint and then I'll run into a cactus. Happy?
Sure.
Cool. So yeah, the cacti kill you as well.
I bet you can't guess what happens.
So someone's made quite a nice sort of city park here with these cherry blossom trees. And it looks like the brazier's been templated and moved along. Let me just crouch under this tree. Oh, and then I've got to... Oh. Okay, so that's quite a tough jump to make. Cool, I think maybe without me just dying over and over again, should we go back and do the last little bits?
Wait, I want to do what
I
Russ
can do.
honestly. Oh, they kill you.
They
Russ
kill you.
Surprise!
Cool, yeah.
Oh, I just noticed them.
Death bananas.
And lava
Gotta
below
watch
it
out
in
for
case the banana doesn't kill you.
Yeah, the lava's there to finish you off.
Cool. Right, so let's head on back. Now, I didn't want to go through the agony of trying to actually reach the end of this race just yet, because I was struggling a little bit with it. But at the end, we'll pass the final checkpoint and it'll say, like, you've reached the final checkpoint, but there's no way currently to bring us back to the start because we've sort of built so far away from the start point. So I think, hopefully at this point, Russ is going to be adding a button or something to the end that we can interact with, which will teleport us back to the start. But as there might not be a package for this in the store at the moment, in the community tab, sorry, Russ is hopefully going to write us a new script, and then we'll check that out with him.
Yep.
It's going to be an arcade machine that we interact with.
Yeah. Call this teleport script.
Good
Okay,
name.
that should be there for you to join if you want to.
Teleport script. Cool. So this is our code editor, and as you can see, all of creation in Crayta is completely collaborative, and that even comes down to the code editor. So I can be writing a function while Russ is writing the entity property up there. I'll just put that in. Hopefully Russ will fill out the rest of that for us.
Yeah.
And then you'll see, actually, if you just stop typing for a second, Russ. No, sorry, finish the line so that I can save the script and the functions there.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just froze. So,
Cool. So Russ is just going to... Oh yeah, that's probably all we need in this script, actually.
that was it, yeah.
Cool. So we've just got a property at the top, which is of type entity, which will allow us to drag any entity into here or choose it from the drop down. And then we've got the function teleport player. So at the moment, teleport player isn't being called from anywhere. It's just a function that sits there. But if you call that and pass a player to it, then it will set the player's position to the position of the start locator, which is whatever we assign to this field here. So what we can actually do now is probably choose our start locator, which I guess is called start location. That'll be the one. But nothing's going to call it at the moment. So what we can do is scroll up on the entity properties, and some of our entities actually have events on them as properties of the entity. So for example, this one has an onInteract event, which has a tooltip when you hover over it. But essentially, if you interact with this entity, it's going to fire off this event. And interacting is pressing E on a controller or X on a, sorry, E on a keyboard or X on a controller when you're in front of the entity. So on an event, we can add functions that will happen. So I'm going to say the entity we want the action to happen on is the arcade machine. It's found out that it's only got one script, the teleport script, so it assigned that automatically. And then the event we want to call is teleport player. And this will pass in the player that interacts with it automatically, which should, using this logic here, send them back to the start of the race. And someone's made this disco as well. So this is actually a nice way of showing off some of our more interesting voxel types as well. So we've got a few voxels which are emissive, which means they sort of emit their own light, and are animated, like this one. So they keep changing colours, which is pretty cool. This looks like the final section we'll have to reach. Cool, I think that's everything we want to do in this game. So one last preview?
I think so, yeah. We'll test that getting to the end.
Cool.
Go.
Let's go. Right, I'm going to play this on controller actually. So while you have to use keyboard and mouse for advanced mode, you don't have to do basic mode on a keyboard and mouse. You can use a controller for that, and you can also test your game on a controller as well. Are you guys just trying to jump past the first acts?
I'm very fast. I'm just waiting for everyone.
Are they really that hard?
Yeah, I'm struggling. Oh,
Dodge the cacti.
platform is not my thing.
Time.
Right, jump over this
Right,
one.
We've got this, Maggie.
Just waiting.
I feel like as it's on a stream, I sort of have to reach the end.
Oh,
Oh, I'm in the tree.
Off of that tree.
Yes, I made the jump. Right, flying banana part. Whatever Russ was trying to do. Oh my god. Cool. Let's try and get past these. Oh my. Right, I need to get past that spinning thing and the jump and the bananas.
Crouch under the bananas.
Oh, can you?
Oh.
That is a useful tip. So you can. Okay, now I just need to get past this one that comes
Yes,
over the
that's-
jump.
That's the slow route. If you want to run, you have to be brave.
And then there's a few sort of static obstacles here.
Oh.
So I'm just going to walk around the sides. Did you mean to have a rotate script on these or something, Russ?
No, I hadn't quite finished doing that.
Oh,
I guess,
okay.
but
Oh well, sorry.
too busy making flying death bananas.
There we go. So I reached the final checkpoint. So I'll do a dance to celebrate reaching the final checkpoint. And then hopefully the arcade machine will send us back to the start.
You dead effing
Oops.
chat. That F's in the chat for my inability to get past my own death bananas.
Nice. Cool. So I managed to teleport back. Have any of you guys actually finished yet?
No, I hate these damn
No,
death
it's
bananas.
so hard.
Okay, well,
Yeah, don't wait for us.
okay, yeah, I'm going to call it there. So now that we've made our game and it does work, we managed to get to the end and come back again. I can go back to the editor. I think the one thing was when I came back to the start location, it seemed to drop me in the floor. So I'm just going to find that and lift it up a little bit because it's just, I think,
Yeah.
slightly buried. So if we just lift that up, players will drop down onto the floor, which should be fine. But now I can actually publish my game. So this is the exciting part. Everyone should soon be able to play our game. So first of all, I'm going to need you guys to leave the editor just because we can't publish while other people are in the editor in case they're still making changes or anything. So
I'll go back to the hub now.
cool.
I'll go
Yeah,
back
if
to
you
the hub.
want to go back, Sean,
Yep.
go away, Sean. Go.
Okay.
Shoo.
Yeah, okay. Okay, bye, bye.
Okay, cool. So then I can publish my game by going back to the create menu. I'll find Don't Look Down. And now you can see I've got this publish button here now that they've all left. If this is grayed out for any reason, it could be that you've still got other people editing your game or something like that. So if I hit publish, then I get a chance to rename my game, but I think I'll go with that name. Game description, a really fun, quite quick obstacle course. Enjoy. So I can update this description anytime that I republish the game. So I'll select that one for now. Got a chance here to change the game card image if I want. But as I said, I can change that through the developer website as well once I publish my game. And then I can add a few tags which will just help people to find my game. So let's go for things like action. Have we got an obstacle? Oh, we don't have an obstacle tag. Okay, I'll just go for action for now. And then
Is there
say
a tag for
continue.
death bananas.
I feel like there probably isn't.
This should be.
Cool. So we've got an action game called Don't Look Down. So this is just showing me the details of my game so I know how it's going to be presented to everyone on the play page. Then I can hit publish game. That game is now live. So anyone who's already picked up Crayta and is currently playing, you can go find it. I'm going to jump in myself and then I'm going to grab a share code or a state share beta link which we can put in the stream chat so that anyone can join either our session if there's still space or just their own session if ours is full. I scroll. There we go. So that should be hopefully on the recently updated. It is. Play.
I like how the game card makes it look like a really friendly game. It's like Scarecrow and Sunflowers, and then it's just a mile-high death obstacle course.
Yeah, I sort of chose a slightly random game card, but it's not really the right tone, is it, for this one? Cool, so I'm in the game. I can see Russ and Sean playing. Maggie's probably on her way. But if I want to share this game that I'm in with someone else, then I can open up the main menu. And I can hit this create share link button here that we talked about before. So anyone that's currently in the game can use the share code that's now on my screen. They can just enter that into the use share code button at the top of the play or create pages. Alternatively, we've got that link here. So if one of the mods could just paste that link down into chat, in the stream chat, that would be really useful. Remember to add the HTTPS, I think, at the start of it so that it becomes a hyperlink. But this is showing off Crayta's unique state share beta feature, which is one of the Stadia enhanced features. So this allows anyone who gets the link to actually jump straight into the game And like I said, if there's still space in our game session, then they'll actually join the game with us. Otherwise, they'll just join an instance of the same game. Cool, so hopefully we can get that message out into chat and we should see some other people starting to join this game.
Okay, I did that. I think I got the right code.
Yeah, it looks like it's there.
7RR.
Yep, that looks
So
correct to
should
me.
Work.
Cool. So we've got, I think Maggie's just joined us here.
Hi.
Whoop,
There, we've got
and
someone
more
else jumping in.
people on their way in.
Nice. Everyone's going to appreciate this amazing game we've made. So you guys seem to think it's easier to jump that. Oh, missed that jump again.
Knocked off.
Right, I finally made it to the cactus part. Now I'll just try and complete the game one more time. See if anyone else has joined by the time I get to the end. Try and squeeze past here.
There's a handful of people still
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Nice.
Just can't get to the damn cactuses.
Cacti, Sean. Come on.
Oh.
It's always that one. It's always that little
jump's
spinning
possible.
one.
Someone like move it slightly further away.
Yeah. Someone missed the note was to make it closer.
Right. Oh, that death banana's a bit mean. It doesn't even go like all the way across to the left.
Ah, that was intentional.
Well, that's horrible.
To throw you off.
But we don't like the death banana. Oh no. Ran into that one. I've got to admit, the death bananas are probably the
finally I
hardest
made
part.
it.
Right. Oh, seriously, that one caught me on the back. I think I got
Yeah, man,
stuck
this-
on one of
this
the...
first jump is arguably the hardest bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's your bit, isn't it, Sean? Did you make that bit?
No.
Oh,
That
okay.
was you, wasn't it?
I
What,
didn't
the
make
axe bit or the jump to the desert.
Jump to the desert.
Oh, that was probably me when I was setting up the different zones.
All this time, Russ.
Okay. Right, I've got to make it this time.
Oh,
I'm just watching
You
everyone just
dead.
constantly fall to
Oh,
their
are you
death.
serious?
Yeah, I can see.
Russ, it's that last banana doesn't go far left enough. I was
you can
expecting it to
crouch
go
under it,
further.
surely.
I might be able to crouch under it, actually. That's a good point.
Yeah, you've managed to get to the end when we previewed. It's
I did.
possible.
I can do it. I might
I'm
even
gonna
do it
mock all
before
the
anyone
people I
else.
keep dying.
That's cruel.
Right, this one doesn't
Oh.
go very far right.
Oh.
Then this one, I can crouch under. Yes, nice. And then we've got all these static ones, so I can just sort of walk around the sides.
Yeah. Oh no, I missed the last jump.
Oh, how did I walk into a static object?
See, that's the thing. It's false sense of security.
It is. You're like, oh, this will be easy. I managed it again. I ran
can't
too
even make
far.
the jump.
Everyone's still at the beginning.
Right. Carefully shimmy around the edges. Okay, someone made it. Who's this?
Okay, if anyone's watching, you have to hold shift to jump to sprint first. And do it at the very edge.
So just in case it,
Too close.
Oh. Just in case anyone wondered, and in case it's your first time seeing Crayta at the moment, you can switch the camera views a little bit when you're playing a game. So if you'd rather play some of these games in first-person view, that's just page up or page down on a keyboard, or I think it's the options button to toggle through the options on a controller. And you've got this sort of further out third-person view, first-person, and then the regular third-person. Game creators can choose lots of different camera types for their games, so they might not be this sort of action camera that we've got as default. They might force a first-person perspective, or they might have a top-down camera, or they might have a side-scrolling camera that follows your player. They could do all sorts of different things with the cameras. Are we all just dancing at the end while we wait for anyone else?
I think we're going to wait for a couple more people, yeah.
Nice.
Most
Little
people are
dance
still
party.
beginning.
Cool. I think we've probably given this game more than enough credit now for the amount of time we actually spent making it. But,
Well,
you know, looks
Raph
pretty
made it
nice.
to the end.
Ah, nice work, Ref.
Yeah, well done, Raph.
We didn't put in a Raph the Dragon, I just realised.
Oh
We,
no!
we don't need a Raph to drag a real Raph.
We do have a real Raph. So let me just go back to start. There we go, so the teleport works nicely. Cool. I think maybe we just play one of our other existing games to finish off this stream.
Yeah, I think we'll go for a
Go.
couple of games. Do you want to group up again, Adam? Because we had to quit the group before.
Sure. Let me just invite Sean to the group. And invite, where are you, Russ? And for some reason I'm still not friends with Maggie. Must not have accepted my
You're
friend
not my
request.
friend.
Oh, okay.
R.I.P.
That explains it. So Maggie will just have to find the game manually with us. So if we go to the play page, I think we're going to have a go at Scavengers Assemble. It's one of our indie dev games. Now this game is particularly out there. It's very sort of wacky. It's got crazy rule sets, and there's I think 5 rounds per sort of match. And each round the rules can change. So essentially, teams have to compete to pick up objects and place them into their sort of boxes to win the game and to earn points. Those objects will change scores each round. They might go into negative scores. So we've got a boot here to pick up now. You can shoot other players. Sometimes there's points for shooting fruit and balloons and all sorts of crazy things that appear around the world. It's a chaotic game that's really good fun once you sort of understand what all the crazy rules are about. So definitely recommend giving it a go. For anyone that's currently playing Crayta, you should just be able to join this through the play page. Scavengers Assemble. It's on the featured rail at the top. You guys aren't moving. Oh, Russ, you're moving a bit. I'm going to shoot you anyway.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. No, not Raf. Andy Morph seems to be quite annoyed by the obstacle course that we just made, which is fair enough. No, don't shoot me. Thank you.
I forget how this game works. Oh, I see. Yes, your boots.
Oh, next round, any player that doesn't shoot scores 50 points. Okay, and the next round starts. We've got a Voxel countdown timer here. Next round starts in 5 seconds. So when that starts, if you shoot during this round, you're gonna not get the 50-point bonus at the end. I'm not sure that you actually get any points for killing other players as well. It just sort of stops them from taking objects back. Oh, we're looking for different things this round as well. So we've got a barrel, a bucket, and a sort of TNT detonator. Seeing a barrel over there.
If you look at stuff on the floor, they make like little crunchy noises and flip around a bit. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'll just find a good example. The bucket. If I look at that bucket, it sort of wiggles around to show that I can pick it up.
I've had a fish that does it up here. It's great.
Up here, you say? Where's up here?
Up.
I'm coming up. Oh, this fish on the crate. Sorry.
Look at it go.
Right, I'm taking the fish. My fish now, even if we don't need it for any points. Nice, 40 seconds left. I reckon we can get some more
I stole
barrels.
one of their barrels.
What? Wait, whose team are you on?
I'm on your team.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm red.
Don't steal my barrel.
Oh, there's loads of barrels.
I feel like we're winning, so I think we've got score counters for this round only up above our score areas.
You guys are hoarding barrels.
Oh no, you just took 10 points off us. Get back.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
I think
what are
I
you
got-
going to do without 10 points?
Well,
I
cry.
didn't shoot. Was that a good thing? Yeah. I haven't shot yet. I think, did you say it was pacifism this round?
Yeah, so in 3 seconds, if that works, you should get
Oh.
50
whoops.
points. You did.
Damn it.
3 people did, but I forgot at the end and tried to shoot Sean because he was annoying me and taking our barrels.
Okay, I got the points.
Right, I'm taking the barrel back. Do we actually need barrels now, Russ? What's our...
No.
No, we're on to deathmatch now. I think so.
Oh,
just a
okay.
shootout. Yeah, this game, you've really got to pay attention to what's going
Yeah,
on.
you do. Bit of a memory game as well because it tells you what's coming up next round.
Yes.
Right, who's this? I'm gonna sneak around. Oh, I can't shoot. You know what? Keyboard and mouse is much better for shooting. If I wasn't dead already. Right, bionic legs. Run faster, jump higher. Interesting.
Oh yeah, we've got a bit of a high jump boost on.
Get out, kobold.
Get out, Maggie. You standing up
you
at the
got
top.
Oh, who was that I just got on the corner? Raph. So you'll see this game actually has name tags and health bars above players, and that's sort of up to the game creator. So we didn't add that to our last game, although obviously we could have done, and there's probably a package for it. I think it's called the overhead package. But any game creator can add name tags to their games if they want to.
Players score points for being in the enemy base when the round ends.
All right.
Oh, 9 seconds. Go, 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 go.
What's this? Oh, nice! I got
Blue
50
team.
points.
I think blue team beat us by 5 points that round.
Okay, but you know we're on 390. They're on 245.
Yeah.
Right. Is anyone keeping track of the rounds? Because I think there's 5 in total.
Does anyone keep a track of what the rules are at this moment?
No.
Oh wait, we're back on an item collection, I think. Oh, there's 500 points for a fish if you can find it.
Wait, what? We've got a fish. 500.
Okay. Keep the fish. It's worth
500.
points. It's like the snitch.
Wait,
Oh,
why are we on minus 500? Are all the scores reversed? Our score says minus 500.
It's because you haven't got the fish.
Oh, what?
30 seconds of sketchiness. That sounds interesting.
Defend
Oh.
the fish.
You know my favourite mode in this? I think it's called Sound Silly. And it makes all the gun noises, things like pew pew and bang bang.
Oh,
I just love that mode.
Who stole our fish?
I got the fish. Fish is in.
Get
Oh,
out,
no.
Sean. Leave our
Get
fish.
the fish.
Right, so we're back
up
on
to
0.
Back on 0. Maybe there's another fish?
I think I saw 2 fish up the top, but I might be wrong. Let me have a look. To be fair, if it's 500 points, oh, didn't make it. If it's 500
Get it.
points, then there might just be the one of them. Oh, shooting loses 3 points.
Oh, stop shooting.
Red team. Hey, we did pretty well. We only lost
Yeah,
3.
blue team keep shooting. That's fine. Let them keep shooting.
Yeah.
Who's that shooting?
Wait, so,
Stop?
wait. why
Red
are we-
team.
Wait, what?
Why did we get minus
Ah!
500 points?
What? Did you take your fish back?
Yes.
Oh,
No.
and then I stopped shooting. Okay, item collection. What are the items?
I'm just killing
everything's
them.
Positive. Gold nuggets, gold bars, and diamonds.
Ooh, okay. I've got a feeling I know where the diamonds are. So the other thing I really like about this map is just how, like, extensive it is, and there's areas like this crazy twisting tunnel underground that you just don't even know are there for your first few plays, except I've probably given it away now on the stream. But it's really cool. And down here is where the diamond is. Oh no.
Here we go.
60
World setting
seconds.
time.
Psychedelia.
God.
Wow. So as we said, this game really is kind of crazy, with the crazy changing rules and the changing environment.
I
Right.
fell off.
Guys, I've got a diamond.
Okay,
What's our
just
score
chuck
looking
the
like?
gold bar in.
Go steal that diamond.
150.
150 to their 25. Right, I'm going to defend.
No, they're on 100. They must have got something good.
It must have just dropped in. So
Ah.
75.
I think Sean just killed me there.
That's it. Take our barrels. We don't need them.
It's alright, I'm going to shoot him anyway.
Aw.
Don't even want the barrel. Oh, they've got a diamond.
Quick, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
I've got
Let's
it.
get out of their base.
I've got it. Cover me.
Nice. That's alright. You stole it off, and that's all that matters. We've got like 600 points to
You
make up at this
son
point.
of a gun.
Hey,
We
blue team won. Right, nice job. Probably
Nice
don't want to
job.
go into the next match there. That might be a good place to move on to one more game to wrap this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Any ideas?
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe Disaster Party is one that we haven't shown much yet.
That sounds good.
Right, play. Disaster Party. Again, anyone who's watching along in the stream, feel free to join us in Disaster Party. It's a sort of crazy futuristic scape of bridges and water and stuff in which you have to survive different rounds of natural, they're not very natural, disasters. So things like meteors, mines, sticky blobs, UFOs, all sorts of different crazy things.
Those natural UFOs.
Very natural disaster. So here we go. It looks like we're currently spectating another game. and I can use we're out of the spectate mode now, but you can use a couple of buttons on the controller or the keyboard to sort of rotate that spectate camera as well. Cool.
Good luck.
Looks like there's a whole bunch of us in this one. Let's try and stay alive. So I think for every round that you manage to survive, you've got this energy bar in the bottom right, the yellow one, and that drains at ×1 speed in the first round. But if you survive the first round, then the next round it drains at 1.5 times speed, and so on. So the game gradually gets harder the more rounds that you survive. Is this UFOs? This is the UFO
UFOs.
attack.
Oh no, I fell in the water.
There's a lot of explosions going on. Oh, I'm in the water. I need to get out. Get out the stairs. I'm seeing bombs flying past. I'm seeing lasers.
This game goes from 0 to 100 very quickly.
I just died right next to someone else. I don't know if it was a bomb or a laser near us or what, but yeah, this game does get pretty intense. So I think, am I right in saying this game has a UFO for every player?
Maybe. I just got annihilated by one.
Nice. So they sort of
looks like it.
hover around. They'll sometimes try and track you, and then if they get you, their light will turn red, and that gives you about 2 seconds to get out of the way, and then they fire a giant laser beam down. Cool. Oh, I didn't get any of the achievements. Not that I really deserved them, I didn't last very long.
Did anyone survive?
Not sure if anyone actually survived, I didn't see the scoreboard at the end there.
I'm just waiting.
Okay. Next round should start in a second. Here we go.
I love the running round panic in the lift at the start. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just trying to get like a good position at the door.
Yeah, you want to get out that lift quick, because if you stay in it for 10 seconds, then it just goes back underwater and you die, don't you? Like straight away.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, lava.
Full
So
of-
got these sort of blobs of lava that appear around the world. And I think if you run into those, you end up losing health and possibly bounce a little bit. I'm not sure, but I don't
Yeah,
really
it
want to
kind of-
try it.
It kind of throws you in the air a bit, which can knock you in the water.
Cool. But they do spawn and then destroy themselves as well, so that one just went away. Right, I'm trying to find the lightning bolt so I've got enough energy to actually survive this round. Oh, I saw one, but I hit the lava. There we go. Gonna wait till I drain a bit to get this one. Is it right that each lightning bolt is 25 energy points?
That looks about right based on what I just picked up, yeah.
Cool. Whoa, I've been bounced and
Oh,
chucked in
I
the
need some-
water.
I need some ham.
Yeah, so I haven't actually seen a food crate land near me yet, but when you take
I can
damage, you
see
can
one.
actually gain some health back by opening one of the crates that drops. I see
Oh no.
see a crate. I'm going for the crate. Okay. Right, so if I open this crate, it should give me a little ham pickup, and that gives me back, I think that might be 250 health or something like that. Get back to the lift. Oh, there's dead bodies in the lift. Right, looks like me and one other person survived this, so I think that deserves a dance. That was a base palm. Cool, one more round and then I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, go for it.
I really like this spectator view actually on some of the ones that have explosives, so like the meteors or the UFO attack. It's really good for seeing like the carnage that's happened across the map.
Yeah, you start to see it like just decimated, like with all the holes that are there.
It's a good showcase actually of our voxel destruction system as well. The way we start with this nice map of ornate bridges and things, and then as the round goes on, they just get destroyed and massive holes are blown up in them. Okay, let's go. So this is the sticky balls, is it? Sticky blobs.
Sticky blobs.
So these will drop down, and if one of them touches you, they sort of attach onto you. Oh, I've got one attached to my hand now. So as these attach to you, they slow you down and they take away 250 health, making it harder to survive. So I think if 4 hit you and you haven't managed to find a food pickup in between, then you'll end up dying. Someone's going to open a food pickup and I stole it. Sorry.
Do you not know who I am?
I needed it more than you. I feel bad if I see that character dead now. Okay, well they moved on from there, so they couldn't have needed it too badly.
2 lightning bolts together. It's always good.
Right, I've only got one
chest,
stuck to me.
chest.
Whoa, it's spinning into the water. I think we've lost that.
No. Oh.
Aha,
I
lightning.
can see one. I can see one.
Oh no! Another sticky blob fell in front of me as I went for the lightning. Hey, there's some.
One lift.
Come on, food chest. Who's gonna get it?
Oh, I don't even need it, but I want it.
I want it. I think I got it. Yeah, my health has gone up. I've got
get back
3
to
attached to me, but I might make it. Oh, it's gonna be close. I think if another one attaches, I'm in a bit of trouble. Come on. Come on. Okay. Whew. How does a dance look with all these attached?
that looks amazing. Like pom-poms.
Do you dance?
Spiky pom-poms.
Giant shoulder pom-pom. Nice. Okay. So I think we'll probably call it a day there. So thanks everybody for watching. You've been watching Crayta. Just for anyone that joined the stream late, Crayta is a collaborative and accessible game development, game creation platform that is now available on Stadia, which is free to pro users, or there's 2 editions that you can purchase if you're a free user of Stadia. And yeah, go claim it now. It's good fun, as all these people in this lift will attest to. So thanks very much for watching. Check out the other videos on our channel. So we've got various other streams we've done on creating specific games, or a couple of tutorials are starting to appear there now as well. And yeah, hop into the game and have fun. We'll see you all on the stream later today at 7 PM British Summer Time. Is that right, Russ?
Yes. Yeah, we've got a tutorial coming up with Andy Sargent shortly.
Yes.
So we're running a kind of a live in-game tutorial for people who got tickets for that. If you didn't get tickets for that, then make sure you stick around or subscribe to us here on YouTube to get the details for that. Should be starting in around 40 minutes time, so for 4 o'clock BST, and then yeah, I'll be back for a stream this evening at 7 BST.
Oh, I'm in the water. Cool. So thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to check out those 2 streams later today, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so that you catch any more streams and any more videos that we're putting out. Cool. See you later on or in game.